I'm not suggesting anything so complicated.
All right, guys. So earlier today, I discussed with you guys that I learned while at the gym from three guys who were Spanish. They were working out, and they were talking in between their sets, and they were saying how they know some of the people that are working for the ICE immigration. And that caught my attention, so I started to eavesdrop. And I made a video about it, and I came back during driving back. I was talking about it. I was very upset about it. And I was getting suspicious because I did see a few videos on YouTube when some of the ICE agents were confronting some of the Americans that were protesting. And I came home, I did a quick little research, not very in-depth, very simple, quick research. And this is what I found. So, Washington, D.C. and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is not a department that you'd expect a lot of Latinos to be working in. As soon as I started to read this, my eyes started to get bigger and my mind started to spin. In fact, many Latinos actively oppose it and are leading a movement to abolish ICE. However, yet nearly 30% of ICE agents and about 50% of Border Patrol agents in the U.S. are Latino. According to data Univision received from ICE in 2017, Latino ICE agents outnumber Black agents 2-1, and Asian agents by 4-1. While agents outnumber Latino agents, while white agents outnumber Latino agents by nearly 3-1, which is not that much. Now, a new study looks at why Latino ICE and border agents join in the first place. University of Notre Dame professor David Cortez interviewed over 60 ICE and Border Patrol agents as part of his research and asked how they found themselves in that job and how they felt about it. Most of the agents did not say they joined because they didn't identify with their Latino land or because they held anti-immigrant views. Instead, they joined because they wanted a stable job and didn't see many other ways of getting one. Let me see. Jonathan Ross, the guy that killed Renee Good, was an American. But he was a bad seed. Many think that he was part of the gang that stormed the state capitol in Washington. They believe he was there January 6th. I was doing some reading years ago on Russia. It was believed that if Trump would ever be president, he would be the chosen one to start Project 2025, which is headed up by the Heritage Foundation. And they were saying, I was reading, that that Russia would assist Trump in turning America into a one-party dictatorship government. So there's going to be no more voting. And if need be, Russian will deploy their military to U.S. soil. Why? Why do you think they would do that? I put two and two together, and by looking at ICE, this is what I came up with. Do you think Russian soldiers from Russia would hesitate on shooting Americans? No, they wouldn't. They would not hesitate on shooting Americans in America. If there's a revolt going on in America with the inception of Project 2025, if that's going to benefit Russia and President Putin, you better believe that Russians would be in American soil to assist Donald Trump. Don't be surprised if that happens. Now let's go back to the ICE information I'm reading. A lot of the ICE agents, between 30 to 50%, are Latinos at the border and in our city streets. In Minnesota alone, there was 3,000 agents, ICE agents, okay? That's the biggest population of ICE agents in one city at the same time. Since the ICE agents are getting involved with this bullshit crap that they're there to protect Americans. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're there to harm us. Only a moron would believe that. Latinos, like the Russians, will not hesitate on shooting Americans. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And that's what's going to keep happening. That's why they wear the masks, so they don't be identified. And a lot of their families do not live in America. They live back in their Latin countries. Mexico, Venezuela, Panama, Colombia. Okay? They don't live here. From what I heard in the gym today, those three guys were saying that they have direct deposit money from the states being direct deposited in the banks in their countries. Your taxpayer money and my taxpayer money, okay, and our tax money coming out from our health care and other things that we're not getting anymore, are being used to fund the agents. They said that they're going to get more ICE agents every single month. It's believed now that they have over 100,000 agents in, and they're not going to stop until 2027. That's a lot of ICE agents. That's a lot of ICE agents if they keep going till the end of 2027. That's a lot of taxpayer money. A lot can happen with that size of people working for immigration. That's a lot of Latin people. All right? The use of the mask is to protect them. Okay? They cannot take the mask out because they'll be identified. Okay? It's pathetic. So it says here that patrol agents, as part of the research, and asked how they found themselves in that job and how they felt about it. They said most of the agents did not say they joined because they didn't that didn't identify with their Latin land, or because held anti-immigrant views. Instead, they joined because they wanted a stable job and didn't see many other ways of getting one. A stable job. Being a farmhand in a farm is not very stable, and it's not very high pay, and there's no health care in it. Farmers are not going to pay you health care to work at a farm. Okay? One Latino agent, her name was Cortez, spoke with a study, and C.J. Juarez said that about why he began working in immigration enforcement decades ago. Because he was literally starving. I ate a lot of beans and rice in those days, let me tell you, man. But really, I wish I could say that it was idealistic or more sexy. But it really was as simple as they were the first ones and called me, and I jumped on the first opportunity. Another Latina ICE agent said, I was a single parent, that's why I got this job. I had just gotten divorced, I had no health insurance, and had a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I needed a job with a little more security. So I started applying. I just went to all the federal agencies to see, like the qualifications were, and I just started applying. And then the ICE application started going through, and I was getting phone calls. So what I heard in the gym was not just bullshit from these people. They were telling the truth, but they didn't think that other members in the gym were going to be eavesdropping. So as I read this a little more, it says, there's been a long history of controversy around Latino immigrant enforcement agents. Latinos experience high rates of deportation, and agents with Spanish language skills and cultural competency are seen as valuable asset for ICE. It's good because they speak the language, a field office director for ICE said in Los Angeles, told Univision in a 2017 interview. It's also a challenge because we're regularly asked, why are you deporting your own people? Last year, a Latino Border Patrol officer in Texas, and those guys in the gym said that a lot of them are coming from Texas and Florida. So here it says that a Border Patrol officer in Texas went viral under the nickname Ice Bae. Ice, letters B-A-E. Some praised her online as a Latina hero, but many others criticized her, saying her parents should disown her for working as an immigration enforcement officer. If you are Spanish, and if you are a parent of a young woman who's in ICE, who's deporting other Latinos because they don't have their visas or their paper or whatever, then you would not be happy with your daughter. Would you be happy if your son was killing Americans? I don't know. But that's what it is. This is what I just wanted to find out how much of it is true, and all of it is true. Here we have Donald Trump saying that they want to deport all the illegal aliens, and some of the illegal aliens may be working as an ICE agent. How do you feel about that? Do you guys agree with this? While Americans are working paycheck to paycheck with no health care, struggling to keep the roof over their head, and struggling to keep food on their table and paying their bills, some of us are working 2 jobs. Yet, you get an immigrant or a land person from another country, a land country, comes in, signs up with ICE, gets very little training. She gets to protect her identity by wearing a mask. She has complete immunity or impunity, cannot be sued, cannot go to jail if she killed someone. And she's making $200,000 a year, plus they paid her or him $60,000 to join. Even if she had a job up until 2028, okay, if the voting goes through, they will probably cut back a lot of these ICE agents now that all these atrocities are happening. She will still come out on top because she would either invest that money, send that money back home where she could go back to and live quite comfortable over the next 20, 30 years, because in Mexico, you're not going to make $200,000 US dollars in Mexico. There's no way in hell. She can go there, buy a house cash. Her property tax is only $25 a year, as opposed to staying here. She can easily save close to $1 million and have it all deposited in the bank in Mexico. Yep. She'd be living pretty nice, wouldn't she, or he, with your money and my money. That's what Trump has been doing, okay? And it started in 2017, all right, when Trump was still in office. Still in office. That means that he started doing that. But they spin it by dividing us to make us hate immigrants and migrant workers so we don't catch on to what they're doing. The reason why they'd rather have Hispanics or Latins be as ICE agents or Border Patrol is simple. Because in America will stand up for their rights. And Donald Trump fears that because half, if not 80% of the population have guns. We stand up for our rights. We will band together and protest, okay? If you told a Hispanic woman that now you're an ICE agent, we're going to help you get your American papers, and we're going to pay you $200,000 a year plus a $60,000 bonus, wouldn't that make you happy? You don't have to work in a farm. You don't have to work in a construction company. You don't have to work in a restaurant washing dishes. Of course you'll take it. Of course you'll take it. So that's what I had to do when I came home. I had to do a little bit of researching to find out if these three people in the gym were credible. And guess what? They are. It's been going on for a long time. It's part of their plan. And the thing with Russia, it's very, very feasible that if there's no end in sight for what's going on right now with these people, these ICE agents killing Americans and causing all this harassment and bullying and beating up Americans because they're protesting innocently as part of their First Amendment and recording, ICE agents who are Spanish don't give a shit. They'll shoot us. They'll beat us up and they'll harass us. Why not? Their faces covered up. They got full protection from our corrupt president. Okay? And our gender bender vice president that likes to wear eyeliner. And our Frankenstein face, Kristi Noem. Why not?